Hey, I heard you want to learn about pointers. Fortunately for you, I'll be talking about pointers in C programming language. So since we are in the same boat, let's jump right in. Just as we have integers, characters, floats, as well as double as data types in C, pointers is also one of such data type, though it's not a basic data type, it's a derived data type. And the concept of pointers is one of the most important and powerful features of the C programming language, yet is also one of the most difficult to understand, but not anymore, because in today's video I'll be demystifying the concept of pointers. What exactly is a pointer? A pointer is simply a memory location which holds the location to some other memory address. Some guys will put it as, some will say a pointer is a variable that holds a memory location. That's correct, which is the address of another variable. I'll make some illustration to drive home this point so that you can better understand what we are talking about. First, using the concept of house address, take for instance, you have been visiting a place, maybe another city away from your home, and you have known the address for a long time, and after some years you want to go back to the place. Then maybe you did not care to put a call across. Then you travel down to the place, and maybe it's a fence, there's a gate, and you entered. Lo and behold, the whole building has been raised down, and you see a signpost mounting on the land and written, to locate this house, visit number 25 New York Street. So you jump back and you drive down straight to the new address you found on the signpost, and fortunately you were able to locate the house. So something pointed you to the new location of the house. So that is what we are talking about when we mean talking about pointers. Also using the concept of shelf drawer. Take for instance, you were grounded, you did something wrong, and your dad sees your phone. You have this shelf in the house, and there are boxes, there are drawers in the shelf with different numbers, and they're up to 30. You have them like that. So your dad, before leaving the house to his work, he kept the phone inside one of the drawers, and he told you, okay, John, pick your phone when I'm out. So when he's gone, you went there to try. He told you, okay, pick your phone at the 12th drawer. So you went there when it was out, and you tried to locate the phone in the 12th drawer. When you open the 12th drawer, rather than meet the phone or get the phone, you met a piece of paper in that drawer, and you opened it, and it reads, to pick your phone, go to drawer 25. So you quickly rush down and open drawer 25, and you met your phone. So basically, that is the concept. That's the description I will give about the concept of pointers. Remember the house address I told you about? The signpost that not showed you, that not gave you the location, that is a pointer, because it's pointing you to the new location you can find the house. And the piece of paper is also a pointer, because it's pointing you to the location you can find the phone. So that's the concept about pointers. Going forward, so to put this in perspective, we could say pointer variable stores the memory address of the variable and not the actual value. The signpost we talked about is not the house. It's just a pointer pointing us to the new location of the house. Why the piece of paper is not the phone you're looking for. It's just a direction pointing you to the location where you can get the phone. So for pointers, bringing things back to the computer have different memories. You know, each the computer have it have memory. Each location, with each location you can have variables in them, and each of them have memory location. So for you to access a particular memory, you have to have the address of that memory. All right, so you can have a pointer that points to the memory location where you can get a particular value. So that is what we are talking about when we talk about the concept of pointers. So I believe a little clear. Let's talk about in the next video I'll talk about variables, pointer variables. Okay, time to look at pointer variables. Like we said, what are pointer variables? A pointer variable basically stores the memory address of the variables and not the actual value itself. So there are indicators, there are rules guiding our pointer variables and their declaration. And we are going to look at them basically one after the other. And the first one, we have to declare a pointer like every other data type, more like you have integer, you have character data type, you have floats, and you have double. You declare an integer data type like every other one, and a pointer must be initialized before it is used. And basically, you can use it with or without the asterisk. With the asterisk, without, it's going to reference the address. It's going to point to the address. And with the asterisk, it's going to point to the value stored in the address. If you remember the illustration which I gave about the person who traveled to locate an address, and the chef locker, which I illustrated before now. So to declare that, you declare like every other variable. You can either have an integer pointer variable, a character pointer variable, double pointer variable. It could also be a float pointer variable, just like every other variable. So I will say that you're going to jump right to code blocks, and let's work things out. All right, so we are going to first talk about how you can declare a pointer variable like every other variable. Let's go ahead and declare a pointer variable. Basically, to declare a pointer variable, let's say you want to have an integer pointer variable, you do int, and you are going to use the asterisk sign and the name of the pointer, the name of your pointer variable. Let's call it ptr. So basically, this is how you declare a pointer variable. Okay, let's say you don't want to do that, you can declare a character pointer variable. You do char or char, how you call it, and you do ptr, which is the name of the variable. So before we go ahead to write a comprehensive program that does this, first let us see how we can access the memory location of an integer before we now talk about the pointer. So first, I'm going to explain why we did this, why we included stdio.h. Then this is the program entry point, which is main. Then I'll go ahead and declare an integer, just an integer, not a pointer this time. I'll give it the name score, and I'll go ahead and assign a value, let's say 45, score 45, maybe the score of a student. Then the next thing I will want to do, I want to print the address in memory of. So after we declare that variable and assign a value to it, we go ahead and print the address in memory. We are not printing the value, remember, we just want to print the address it occupy in the memory location of the computer. So I'm going to use a printf statement, and I just go ahead and do, I'll use %p, which is the format specifier, to print an address in memory. Then I'll go ahead and add a comma, and I'll do ampersand, which helps to print, access the address in memory. So I'll just do that. And if I go ahead and save this, and build and run. You see, this prints the address in memory of score of that variable. So then now we want to introduce pointers to what we have. We want to use pointer to reference score, right? So that is what we want to do right away. So I'll go ahead and declare my pointer variable, an integer pointer. Then I'll call it, I'll use the asterisk sign which we talked about earlier. Then I'm going to call that, the pointer name is ptr, and I'm going to do ampersand score. Okay, so what am I doing here? I'm assigning the address of score to this pointer. I'm assigning the address of score to this pointer. That is what I'm doing here. So after that, I'm going to print that address. Okay, I'm going to use a printf statement again here to print that address. Let me just copy this. So again, I'll use a printf statement to print the address. I'm not using score here now. I'm using the pointer, which is ptr. Okay, so what we just did here is that here we declared a variable called score and assigned a value to it. Then we went ahead to print the address, not the value. We didn't print the value 45. We went ahead to print the address that value is occupying in the memory location of the computer. So we printed that address. Then we came here and declared a pointer, an integer pointer variable called ptr, and we went ahead to assign the address of score to this pointer. Okay, so we use that pointer, the pointer, to reference what we have in score. We assign the address of score to pointer. That is what we did in this line. We declared ptr and assigned the address of score, all in the same line. So then we want to now print the address of, are we going to use score here? No, because we already score, the address of score has already been assigned to ptr. So if we want to print if we put ptr here, invariably we are printing the address of score. I believe that makes sense to you. So here we have printed the address of score here. So we use pointer to reference it. Let's see if it's going to, print the same thing we have here in score. So, all right, let me make this a new line so that it will not be conflicting, so that it will print that in a new line. If they are the same, if the address that was printed here is the address that is here, that means we have successfully, pass the address of score to this pointer. We have assigned it to this pointer. So go ahead and save this and build and run. Okay, I think this. Okay, I think I need to add a semicolon here. All right, so if I save now and build and run, let's see if the address in memory is going to return the same value. All right, so as you can see, guys, they are returning the same value. Both the address in memory of score we're trying to print, as well as the pointer which we use to reference score. You see, they are printing the same value. That means that what we did here was very successful, because they returned the same value in that. So they returned the same value. That means what we did was very successful. So in the next video, we are going to talk about how to access values using the value of a variable using a pointer. All right, now let's talk about what you take note of. Jury pointer, are you declaring it this way or this way? So that's what we'll look at. And so you may want to ask, jury pointer declaration. I have seen a pointer be declared this way, and again in another instance, I see this as another declaration. Kind of confusing. Which one should I go with? Looking at these two we have here, both are correct. There is no major difference between both of them. It only shows a notation. Tactically speaking, both are correct. But when it comes to C programming, this one is less misleading. That is why I will advise most times you go with this. But if you have this in a single declaration, you are still correct. But when we move on to talk about two variables, such as we have here, this declaration, you may want to look at if it's declaring two pointers, but that is not the case, okay? Because only one pointer is being declared here, which is P. Q is just a normal integer variable. Looking at this, you see that each of the variable have a pointer, this asterisk in front of them, which shows that both of them are pointer, which is straightforward and less misleading. But when we now talk about three variables, declaring three variables, if you have this, it may also seem as if you are declaring this, all of these variables, PQRO are pointers, but that's not the case. Only P here is a pointer. But looking at these two again, you see that this is less misleading, straight to the point. You are declaring each of them as pointers using the asterisk sign or symbol. Okay, like we have done in the previous video, we had accessed the address in memory using a pointer. Right now, we want to access, we can as well access the address and the values of a variable using a pointer. So that is what we are going to do in this video. So here I'm going to declare an integer variable, same, which we have done before. I'm going to use score as my integer variable. And then before I do any other thing, first, let us print the address. Let us print the address of score in memory. I'll do printf, printf, and I'll use my double quotes, and I'll do percent %p since I want to print the address, which is the format specifier to print the address in memory. I'll do %p, and I'll go ahead and do a percent score. Okay, so we are printing the address in memory of score. To test what we are doing, we use that printf statement. So if I save this, I go ahead to build and run. Okay, sorry, supposed to put an equal to sign here. And I save and build and run. All right, so that is going to print the address in memory using score. We have not used pointers now. So since we have been able to print the address of this, just to show you how to print the address of that in memory. So what I'll go ahead and do now, I will declare my pointer variable, which we are using an integer pointer, by the way. And again, our pointer is ptr, and then we are going to assign our pointer to score, all right, to the integer variable which we declared earlier. So what I will do now, again, if we want to print the address in memory, we just go ahead and do %p This we are printing address, formal specifier, and let's try and do that in a new line. So percent p formal specifier. So then we are going to print the we are going to pointer is the PTR is the pointer that stores the memory address. So we are going to use the printf statement to reference that address, which is the PTR that we have assigned. We have assigned to score. Okay, we have assigned score to rather. So this is going to print the address in memory. So how do we now print the value? The actual value here using our pointers. How do using the pointer? How do we now print the value? So to print the value again, we are going to let me just copy this. We are going to use the printf statement, and then this time, since we are printing value, we are going to use the %d formal specifier to show us that we want to print the value. Okay. This may not be needed. Then this point, we are going to use our asterisk PTR. So that is going to print the value. Just to make things look good, I'll just come here and use some letters to represent that address in memory. Okay, that will give us the address in memory, and then this is going to give us the value stored in that address. I believe you are following what we are talking about. So if we do this, PTR is going to give us the pointer. It is the pointer that stores the memory address. Star PTR gives the value stored in the memory address pointed to by PTR. So if we have this, then let's go ahead, save this, and build and run. All right, so as you can see, guys, this first line is going to give us the address. Then the second line is going to give us that value stored in the address. Sorry. So what we are doing here is this line. Let me use a comment. So PTR is a pointer. That is what I want you to understand. It's a pointer that stores the memory address. And here we have, let me use a comment again. We have star PTR, gives the value stored in the memory address. In the memory address pointed to by PTR. All right, so this is it. And remember, we said this when we during the in the notes we said this, that PTR is the pointer that stores the memory address, and star PTR gives the value stored in pointed to by the memory address. So I believe you understand what is happening here. So in the next video, we are going to talk about how you can change or modify values using pointers. So now let's talk about how we can modify or manipulate values using pointers. Back to our program. This is the last point. This is where we stopped. So here we already declared a variable called score and gave it a value. Then we assigned the value to our pointer variable, which is declared here, an integer pointer using the asterisk PTR. Then the next thing we want to do we want to use a printf statement. So I'm just going to remove this line. Okay, so we want to use a printf statement to print. Let's first print the value of score. Sorry, let me just remove this. Okay, so first, how do we print the value of score? Let's say we want to print value of score. Then to print the value of score, we are going to use the percentage D this time to print value. And let's just do that in a new line and put a comma there, and we do score. All right. I'll have to close this. Okay, so we do score, and let me close this off. So this is going to help us print the value of score. So if I save this right now, if I save this, we are just trying to print the value of score. If it runs, and all right, value of score is 30, which is basically what is expected. So then now using pointers, we will now want to we can go ahead again here. I'll just come here and copy this line. So this time we want to print the value of score using the pointer that we declared earlier. So value of score using pointers, using our pointer. So percent D, and here to print that value like we did in the previous video, we are going to use the asterisk sign. And remember, if you just want to print the address in memory, you use PT arrow, and then your format specifier would be percentage %P. But this time we want to print the value, so I'm just going to do star PT arrow, and that will help us print a value. So if I save this and build and run, so it's going to give us the same result. Value of score is 30. Value of score using pointer is 30. So it's going to output the same result. Oh, sorry, I don't know why this kept going back. It's going to give us the same result. So let's now try to modify. Let's manipulate the value of score in our pointer. Okay. So what we can do here, let's say we want to change the value of score. So we can use our pointer to modify the value stored in score. That is the power of pointers. Let's say it was 30. Let's say I want it this time to be 60, right? I want to change the value of pointer to be 60. Okay. So of the value of score rather. Sorry, I need to do this. I want to modify that to be 60. So go ahead again. I'm going to use my printf statement. Let me just okay, use my printf statement. Then we are going to print the new value. Okay, so we are going to print the value of score after modification. So we are going to print the value of score after using, we are using so we are printing the value of score after modification. So we are putting score here. So we want to print the value after we modify. See, we have changed we have used pointer to manipulate and change the value here. All right. So if we go ahead now and save this build and run. Ladies and gentlemen, you can see that the value of score have been changed to 60. Right? the value of score have been changed. So here we did not have to use a pointer here again. We just had to use the variable score, and it's going to rightly modify that value. Okay, I believe you understand. So again, looking at this program here, we declared a pointer here. We declared the pointer variable, pointer to an integer, which is called ptr. Then here we assign the address. Okay, we declared and assigned the address. And assigned here. So then here we went for that to print the value of score using printf, the value of our variable. Then here we printed the value of score using pointer, this pointer. Then we went ahead to change the value of ptr to 60. We modified that, and we try to print again after modification the value of score, which means that the value of score have changed to 60. So this is fundamental. You can use pointers to change or modify or manipulate values in your program. So that's the power of pointers. So before we go, we have a little quiz that will help you, put in perspective what have been learned so far. Okay, before we go, you can look at this evaluation quiz. Okay, you can just look through and put the answers in the comment section. Let's see what you have. The person that gets the correct answer, I'll have a one-on-one with you. I'm very serious about this. And this is one, and you have another one. So adding one to the address stored in a pointer increases its address by what quantity? So these are the options you can look through, and just drop the answer in the comment section of this video. I'm going to notice that, and the person that got that, we are going to talk one-on-one about programming. Thank you so much, guys. This is it about C pointers. I'll see you in the next video.